subscribe.
The Infinite Forbidden is here to change the game with a whole slew of new powerful archetypes, and today we're talking about one that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are looking forward to, White Forest. If you like synchro summoning, this deck might be for you. So there's a lot of different cards and engines that synergize with this archetype, and that's because it does a lot. So I'm going to introduce you to the cards in a way that kind of gives you a feel for how the deck operates. Starting off here with one of the main playmakers and one card combos, we have a Stellar of the White Forest, and she is a secret rare. She's a level 2 light spellcaster and is pretty much your ideal normal summon. So if we read the effect here, you can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard as cost, special summon one light spellcaster tuner from your deck. Pretty strong, and sending that spell or trap from field or hand is going to be a recurring theme here, made obvious by her second effect, which is if a spell or trap is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster's effect while this card is in your graveyard, except you're in a damage step, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect once per turn. Now you can summon any light spellcaster tuner from the deck, but the target you're most likely going to want to go for is Sylvie of the White Forest. She is our level 4 tuner, and if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one White Forest spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So already we're making up for the spell or trap we sent for the original effect of a Stellar, but it gets even better. There's many cards that we can search, but first let's talk about Sylvie's other effect, and that is if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target one White Forest synchro monster you control or in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but negate its effects. Already this is like infinite recursion, because not only are you returning your synchro monsters back to the extra deck, but you're also generating bodies to then synchro summon into them again. Now, one of the spell or traps that you might want to search for is Tales of the White Forest. This card is an ultra rare, and it reads, if you control an illusion or spellcaster monster, add one White Forest monster from your deck to your hand. But also, if this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, which, like I said, is the gimmick of the deck, you can set this card. And because it's a normal spell, after you set it, you can then just activate it. So assuming we've searched for this card, before we actually do anything with it, we currently have a level 2 non-tuner and a level 4 tuner on the field. So let's synchro summon into a 6. Out comes Arciela, Sinister Soul of the White Forest, our ultra rare level 6 spellcaster synchro tuner with the effect, if this card is special summoned, you can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, add one White Forest card, or one light spellcaster monster from your deck to your hand. You can search something as generic as Effect Veiler with this card, man. But before we get into what we want to search with this card, this is going to enable a lot of different plays here. Assuming we sent the Tales of the White Forest that we searched earlier for its effects, not only is it going to set itself back, but also a Stellar is going to summon herself from the graveyard as well. Because the normal spell can search for a monster, we probably want to search for a spell or trap with our synchro monster here, and so why not grab a copy of Woes of the White Forest from the deck. This is a normal trap card which reads, special summon one White Forest monster from your hand or deck, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon one White Forest synchro monster. And then it also has the effect where if it's sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card, and you can only use each effect once per turn. So not only will we be setting up to synchro summon on our opponent's turn to interrupt their plays, but we also have more fodder for our White Forest effects. Now we're free to activate our set Tales of the White Forest, and probably grab a copy of Elzet of the White Forest from our deck to our hand, who is the second secret rare of the archetype. She's also a level 2 non-tuner and has the effect where you can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, then add one White Forest monster from your deck to your hand except Elzet. So we can send the trap card that we searched for, which would then set itself back for free, and there is one more monster in the archetype that we're going to want to search. But Elzet also has an effect in the graveyard, and that is during your opponent's turn, if a light spellcaster tuner is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, except you're in a damage step, you can add this card to your hand. So again, just more recursion. Now the final monster in the archetype that we're going to want to search with Elzet's effect is Rusia of the White Forest. Rusia is a level 4 tuner and has the effect, if you control a White Forest monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, just like that, for free. She also has the effect on field where you can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, draw a card. Drawing cards is always nice. And also, if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target one White Forest synchro monster you control in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but negate its effects. At this point, we have a lot of bodies on the field and can go in many different directions. But first, why not make our Synchro 8 Diabelle, Queen of the White Forest, a secret rare Illusion Synchro monster. If this card is synchro summoned using a tuner synchro monster, you can target one spell or trap in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and that can be any spell or trap. She also makes for a nice endboard piece because she has the effect when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon one level 7 or lower tuner synchro monster from your extra deck, or graveyard, or banishment. Thankfully, this archetype also comes with a perfect target for this in the form of Silvera, Wolf Tamer of the White Forest. This card is an ultra rare level 6 spellcaster synchro tuner with the effect if this card is special summoned, you can change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position, basically like Book of Eclipse. She has a nice little continuous effect as well, where all illusion and spellcaster synchro monsters you control gain 500 attack, and also if they attack a defense position monster, they inflict double piercing battle damage to your opponent. So with our one little combo, we've essentially gone through pretty much every single card in the archetype, but there is one more for me to introduce to you, and that is a normal spell card, Beware of the White Forest. If you control a level 6 or higher illusion or spellcaster monster, target one card your opponent controls, destroy it, and then it also has the effect where if this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. So it's a nice little option for going second when your opponent controls monsters. Overall, this is looking like a pretty strong deck that just creates so many resources out of nothing. There aren't even any restrictions, you're not locked to synchro summoning, you're not locked to White Forest monsters. So you can mix this archetype with a lot of different decks, which is always very exciting when it comes to deck building. Yeah, a very nice inclusion in the Infinite Forbidden.